getting at with judgment, right?
Uh-huh.
It goes both ways, right? And that's that mindset. And it's not to say more of a certain race doesn't have sort of an easier go at times, right? Gifted with certain opportunities that may not be present to others, but that I think that is out of their control, right? It's out of everyone's control, right? So you can only take the cards that you're given and make the most of them,
Right.
and it's that simple. So like, I want to ask a follow-up question, right? So there's a lot going on in the world, right? What are your thoughts on, like, I guess, keeping everything that's going on in perspective with like a person's hunt for being successful? And obviously, like, what you define as success is different for, every individual, but most people are obviously not where you are, right? They're on a hunt, they're trying to build, they're trying to create, and you're trying to do the same, but maybe they're like quite a few steps back and still trying to do the same thing. I feel like some people get too bogged down by what's going on, right, with COVID, and then like getting vaccinated, not getting vaccinated, like feeling like their rights are being taken away. Everything kind of going on, I guess, even like, racism, right? What are your thoughts, sort of keeping perspective and not allowing these events to fog up your brain and your path, right? And really just ultimately getting distracted and not having focus, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts there?
Well, my immediate response goes to that is that you still live in America. Living in America, you've been born into privilege to start with. You have the equal opportunity that everybody else has. I think what most people get caught up is in their pride. If you start looking at, well, I'm this or I'm that, and that's why I don't have this or I don't have that, that's solely on you, because it's proven fact that it doesn't matter what color you are, where you're from, you can achieve success. Again, whatever that level of success is for you, it may be different from somebody else. I know teachers who are brilliant people, and they just want to teach, they want to educate, but their level of success is pretty much capped at, like, if we're going to do monetary success, it's capped at $60,000 a year. But they gauge their success based on how many lives they influence to become productive, healthy citizens in this world.
Impact.
Exactly. You look at someone in a business, their level of success may be gauged on how many people that they can employ, that they can build up a business and they can work with a great community. Okay. It can, then be somebody else who looks at it and says, how much money I make, the pure dollar at the very end of the day. That's the gauge of success. We think in society that is ultimately what we gauge as success, how much money you make. So if you start from that premise, anybody can get there. Anybody can make an absurd amount of money, no matter what environment you came from, what level you were born into. I think the problem that we live in a society today is that people get caught up in the small parts of it, the minutia, if you will, the things that you care about right now because that's all you know. But it's like a spider web of again, going from here to here to here. You live in a world, biblical. Let's take it biblical for a second. I'm Jewish. Catholic? Christian, okay. All right.
Is our Bible the same? Not to ask a very ignorant question.
Very similar. We can go down that road here in a second. So the Torah is basically the first. It's the first 5 books.
It's called the Torah.
The Torah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the 5 books of Moses. So
okay. Oh, I love those books.
Yeah. So it's Genesis, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, and Exodus. Okay. So
is that the order of them?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I screwed that up.
I was wondering if you guys ordered it differently.
I think it's Genesis, Numbers.
You got Exodus in there.
Yeah. Exodus, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
going to mess it up. I can name the 5, but I'm going to mess them up. I'm a bad Jew. I'm a bad Jew. I mean, I'm tattooed. I'm not even supposed to be tattooed.
I know that.
But if you look at it, okay. All right. Let's take the simple thing. Pork. Do you eat pork?
I don't eat pork.
Don't eat pork. I don't eat pork. Okay. You don't eat pork. Is it for religious reasons or health reasons?
I would say not 90% health. And then if I just wanted to say like, like a prideful thing, like, you know what I mean? Like I would mostly health.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the Bible, no matter what version of the Bible you look at, it can be the Torah, it can be the Christian Bible, it can be the Quran. They all say you're not supposed to eat pork. All of them. You're not supposed to eat pork. Why? Pork is unclean. A pig is an unclean animal. Well, what were they doing at the time? Pigs wallered in shit. They laid in mud. They ate dead things. They were bottom feeders. They would literally scavenge and they would eat other dead things. So the thought process, at least man understood at that time, from that perspective, that if they're eating a dead animal that is rotting and stinking and has, maggots and everything on it, if I eat that pig, then ultimately I'm eating what that pig eats. Okay? But today, pigs are treated very well. They have air conditioning. They're fed great food. They're generally not fed dead, things unless you're a gangster and you want to feed dead bodies to them.
Would they eat a body?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
A pig can chew through bone.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Would they, though?
Oh, absolutely.
It's like you put a dead body in a...
Maybe not somebody like, like farm-raised pigs today.
Yeah, because they're not used to that.
Right, but generally pigs, like in the wild, hogs in the wild,
they'll
tear down anything dead. They you can put a human body out and they will ravage it. They'll eat straight through the bone, the teeth, everything. But apparently from movies and stuff I've seen, you have to actually pull the teeth because the teeth will get caught up in their digestive systems. Okay. So you got to pull the teeth. Jeez. Again, we're getting into we want to talk about dismembering bodies, I guess. But I
know pigs are that capable.
But today, pork is a very clean meat. It's a very clean meat. You're not eating a dead body. You're not eating dead rodents and chickens and whatever because you're eating a pig. It's a very clean meat. So think about the perspective that those people had at the time. Well, over 2,000 years, 3,000 years, 5,000 years, 10,000 years, that understanding and that perspective of what a pig is and what a pig can do for your body has changed. If you think about it purely as the protein point of view, right?
Yep.
But in Judaism, there's laws that says, okay, if the pig's the only thing left to eat for you to survive, you eat that fucking pig. You're gonna get down on that pig.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna murder that pig, and I'm gonna eat every part of it.
Yeah, when I go to like my wife's parents' place, man, they don't buy turkey bacon, man. You know what I mean? Like I like lean meat, but
yeah,
I'm eating that pork bacon.
Yeah,
you know? Like so.
Yeah, and so you think about that perspective. You think about where we are as far as that understanding of things, and I think that's what goes back to what determines success is what you know in your world, what you've seen. My idea of success was very huge and broad because of the way my father was, because the things he took me around and what I saw. My level of success in skating. My idea of success is to this day still very huge and broad. What people get caught up in is because what they know. They only allow what they know to determine how they behave and what direction they go in. What do we do as humans? We kind of stick to the same script and path and what we understand, what we feel comfortable in. Very few people are going to put themselves outside of that. That's why you see a large group or a much larger represented population of, say, black people within, say, entertainment and sports, because that's what a lot of them feel comfortable with. They go in that direction and they gauge, because you can be, look at the success you can achieve in those things. I mean, change lives, hundreds of lives. Your great grandchildren would never have to worry about stuff from some of these people. So I think what ends up happening is that people get caught up on that level of success of what they know at that time,
based off what they see,
and they restrict themselves. Because there are people that I have no doubt that can play basketball and there can be fantastic athletes, but they're probably better thinkers. They're probably better mathematicians than they are basketball players. Yeah. But because they live in a world where basketball is gauged as the ultimate line of success, they don't want to do math. They don't want to pull themselves out of there. So I think that culturally, environmentally, and it's not a race thing, but we go back and we say we restrict ourselves to what we know and what we're around. In this world, to gain success, the only way to actually get there is to listen, to gain knowledge, and to equally exercise that. Be purposeful about your actions when you execute. You cannot be successful solely by yourself. You will never be successful solely by yourself. There are people that you can say you bootstrap this, but people helped you. Somewhere along the way, somebody helped you. your mother, your grandmother, a banker, a generous person at the gas station who you did not ever get there by yourself. It takes a village.
People don't realize too, like they're like even small moments, small interactions go a very, very long way. Like, you know what I'm saying, a cashier saying good morning to you when you're having a bad day, like, you know what I'm saying, that snaps you out of your own head and like, oh, I guess the sun is shining outside, right?
Yeah.
So then you took that energy and did something positive with it. Maybe you actually studied for your exam like you were supposed to. You know what I mean? Like, so it does take, you know what I'm saying, it takes.
It's not just about what you were given financially or monetarily. It's the whole network of everything that plays into it. So the biggest thing I can say to people today, as far as achieving success, is to listen, to learn, to recognize, and to put those things together. To think from and tell the story in your head. Hey, look, what happened today may have hurt, but I learned from it. What did I learn from this? We talk about not being afraid to fail. But are people really not afraid to fail? Right. People don't want to fail. People want to succeed. But people want the shortest avenue to success as possible. I could tell you right now, I started working for my father at 18 years old, 19 years old. I would not, if it had not been for 20 years of spending time there, that's one factor to say where I'm able to do what I do today.
You wouldn't take any 1 year away from that. You might not be able to stand in the shoes you're in now.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
If all those things, and it wasn't one individual thing, but I will say this, what I did recognize from a very early age was that there was cause and effect in this world, that there are things that happen for a reason and they need to happen. They should happen. The same way a hurricane blows and knocks down a building, and then they turn around and they build an even bigger and better building that's more safe and more secure for the people that are going to live in it now. There's reasons for those things, you know. You just have to recognize that there's this cause and effect in the world, and that we do certain things and things happen, and you learn from it. You pay attention to it, and you take it to the next step.
Yeah, you open your eyes, man. You don't shy away from it. You know what I mean? It's happening for a reason, and you won't learn. So there's the statement that the blessing is in the lesson, and you won't get the blessing if you kind of shy away, close your eyes. Oh, I wish that never happened, because that's what that is, right? When you judge it, say like, oh, I hate that this happened to me, woe is me. You're not taking a good, honest look at it, right? You're like shrinking away from it. And last night I was up to like 2 a.m, man. I was on this guy, Millionaire Wesley or something. I was on his Instagram, and he said something, man, that was such a mind shift for me, man. He said, failure does not exist for the committed. And what that means to me, at least, is like we define what failure is. Like you're not a failure until you say I failed at something, right? You define that, right? What success is, like we just sat down and did, right? You set those metrics. So you're not if you're committed, you can't fail, right? Because you're willing to endure whatever like comes. You're willing to take it, learn from it, adjust fire, right? Go left, go right, right? You just keep going. It's like really that simple. You just keep going, right? So that's man. I love that, man. I think that plays right along with what you were saying, man. Like, there is no failure for the committed. As long as you're committed, you can't fail.
No.
So that's simple, man.
Yeah.
Just keep going. So that's it.